my creative carnivore kitchen. Today another video from my other channel, Aline's Adventures, Carnivore in Montenegro. And I even made two parts out of it, two videos. So enjoy here, part one. Again, all the salt has iodine in it. Even the sea salt and the Himalayan pink salt crystals in salt grinders, even those have iodine in it. Why aren't people allowed to decide for themselves if they want iodine in the salt or not? I barely had any pure salt left over from Turkey. In Serbia, it's mandatory to have iodine in the salt that gets sold. Here is the video about carnivore in Serbia. So while being in Serbia, I used up almost all the salt from Turkey that was pure. So while still being in Serbia, I looked up the laws from Montenegro and I couldn't find anywhere that iodine was a mandatory ingredient in salts. But I came over here and I couldn't find pure salt anywhere. I asked multiple people and stores, I looked everywhere. Everything has iodine in it. I ran out of pure salt, so we had to buy some salt here. So we just bought the least contaminated ones, so like salt grinders, Himalayan pink salt, and sea salt with just iodine in it. So no anti-caking agent, dextrose, or anything else, at least that, but they're not pure, but it's the least contaminated one. So I also thought, hey, I used so much from this salt grinder. That's the one that belongs here where we are staying. And I used so much. It's like, oh my gosh, I want to fill it up some more. So I wanted to open that one up to fill the other one up. And I couldn't get it to open. So I asked Paul, please open it up. And it doesn't work. You can't open it. They're not reusable. What the fuck? What the fuck, you fucking assholes? Do you know it's so much more expensive having to buy these again and again, those grinders, instead of buying some salt to fill that up. But you can't open it. It's not reusable. And I need a lot of salt. I use one of those for me alone in less than 1 month. So yeah, no wonder I couldn't find anywhere like salt bags to fill up these, because they don't exist, because you can't fill them up. Okay, so Paul explained it to me. Here in Montenegro, the locals, they don't buy these. They don't use these. Also in the restaurants, you don't see salt grinders anywhere. I don't go to restaurants, so I have to trust his word. So apparently in restaurants, they only have salt shakers. And yes, of course, they probably buy a 50-pound bag somewhere, 50-kilogram bag or whatever, somewhere, and just fill those up. So locals don't buy these. Those are only in stores for tourists. Okay, I totally get that. And apparently, of course, salt grinders that are non-reusable, it's much cheaper to make them than ones you can actually reuse. It's cheaper to make. So of course they only buy the ones that are much cheaper, because it's not really selling anyways to locals, not at all, just for tourists. So yes, I do understand that it's a different country, different habits, different, yeah, I totally get that. But I think it shouldn't even be allowed to make non-reusable salt grinders. It's just fucking stupid. It's so much more waste. It's so much more money throwing out. I mean, yes, of course, it costs maybe a little bit more to make those that you can reuse, but it's just so, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's fucking stupid. Look what Paul found. The first time ever he found a package of salt, of course, with iodine in it, but like a fill-up package. Well, not for those, because those you can't open, but it was the first time ever he found this at Voli, and it was the only one. So either there's someone that buys all of them, or they really just have it very rarely. It was the only time he found that one, and only one package in those almost 3 months we've been in Ulcinj, Montenegro. At least now I can fill up this one here that I use so much of. So, and the rest of this I'm gonna leave here too, so they have more to fill it up. Unfortunately, Montenegro is expensive. Locals say since after COVID it got crazy expensive. And they have the euro here. Somehow I feel like that makes it even more expensive. But the food is not as expensive as I first thought. When I got here, I kind of thought food is expensive. But like for example, the ribeyes, they were actually pretty affordable. They were 7.90 euros a kilo. But they weren't as good as in Reno, Nevada, USA, because they didn't get aged. So they were much tougher. They were still good, but actually they were better, like more like slow cooked for a bit, or in the oven, or not still raw in the middle, because usually ribeyes I love very well seared on the outside and still completely raw on the inside. But for the ribeyes here, it's better to, well, you don't have to make them totally well done, but more done than usual. It's better for here because the meat is just much tougher. Funny, I couldn't find any beef and lamb and pork in like packages as a clean meats, clean meaning just the meat, not like sausages or something like that. I could find some chicken, like I think chicken breast or chicken legs or something like that. I could find like frozen in bags, but like those packages that are sometimes frozen, sometimes not frozen, they didn't really have that. So you just buy the meat fresh from the butcher. So in every grocery store, they actually have a butcher for beef and chicken and pork and sometimes lamb and veal. So that's actually pretty cool. So there's much more like fresh meat. So Montenegro is mainly a Orthodox Christian country, but there are also a lot of Muslims. So the pork is always separate from the beef. Either it's like divided by like a wall, so the butcher can't just go from the beef section straight to the pork section. He has to go through the back door, go around the back and wash his hands very well, and then go over to the pork section. Or in another store, it's completely divided. Like on the left of the store is the beef, the lamb, the veal, all that, and on the very other side of the store, on the very right, there is a pork section all by itself. And there are two different butchers, one by the beef, veal, lamb, whatever, chicken, and the other one is only there for the pork. They have much more veal here in Ulcinj, Montenegro, much more than in Reno, Nevada. That is so cool. I mean, I love veal. And sometimes at Solaris, a grocery store, there by the butcher, we got ground veal, and it was only 6.90 euros a kilogram. Even cheaper than the beef. I think the beef was like 7.90 per kilogram. But they didn't have it all the time. They also didn't have all the time ground beef. Well, you could always ask them to grind a piece for you. And veal chops and veal ribs, so delicious. This was really super cool. Oh, and at the halal butcher, they were even selling a calf's head sometimes. The ground beef didn't really have much taste at all. And there were also like a lot of gristle parts and tendons in it, so just like stuff that's not really edible, because I also like to eat ground beef raw. I really miss the ground beef from Serbia and Turkey. That one was amazing. That was like grinded up like really in like thin worms, and the taste was just so amazing to eat it raw too. So I miss that one. So here is the video about carnivore in Turkey. I was so pissed. Once in the ground pork, I saw little black dots and like also kinda some green pieces, herbs. I smelled it. I asked Paul, and even he confirmed it. It smelled a bit like garlic. Yes, I have a nose almost like a hound dog, but Paul's nose is not working specifically well. So if he could even smell it, I know exactly what happened. Oh, well, I'm very convinced what happened. So first, they grinded the sausage mix with spices in it and herbs and whatever, and they didn't clean the grinder. So after that, they grinded the pork that they sell as just regular ground pork. So there was still some sausage mix mixed into the clean ground pork. The whole 1 kilograms and 100 grams batch of ground pork was contaminated. Paul had to eat everything by himself. So it wasn't wasted, but fuck, no pork for me. Because it's not even that I just don't want the spices and the herbs or whatever. I also don't like it, especially garlic, blah. And also that gives me problems in my stomach. Pepper gives me problems. I get hot flashes. So it doesn't matter if it gives me problems or not. I also just don't like it, and I don't want it. I didn't pay for that. And actually, the spiced pork costs more than the clean pork. Another time I found the same in the beef. Already when I took the meat out from the packages, when I opened it, whoa, it smelled so much like garlic. It was so gross. Yes, a lot of people like garlic. I don't. I hate the smell. I get sick from it, from the smell and from eating it. So the pork was much worse, but unfortunately I forgot to take pictures or videos. But here, I don't know if you can see it, but I can clearly see contamination. Here, for example, this is like probably some herb, and then here's also one. Here is another herb and more of probably pepper, and it smells like garlic so much. It's so, even every time we open up the fridge, it smells like garlic. The smell was also so repulsive. Another kilo just for Paul. When he ate some of that beef, he even said it's a bit spicy. What the fuck? And Paul's taste buds are not very good. I got so fucking pissed. Fucking assholes contaminating meats and then sell it as fresh, clean, ground meats. There are people out there with allergies. From then on, I never ever bought any ground meats anymore at Bali, the grocery store, basically the biggest grocery store around here. No, I still went to Bali, we still bought meat there, but never ever the ground beef or the ground pork or any ground meats. Sometimes people say, oh, it looks really clean. It's like, no, I don't fucking care. From there, I don't buy that ever again. We stayed in Montenegro for almost 3 months, so I got to see and try a lot more than in other places we were. So I thought I'm gonna make a second part of how it is as a strict carnivore in Montenegro. Don't forget to subscribe here to not miss the second part and other interesting, fun videos about my nomadic lifestyle, Aline's adventures. Stay happy, stay healthy. See you soon. Bye.